Food Program, WFP, and the Center for Policy Dialogue, CPD. Today's conference brings together government officials, private sector innovators, experts, and development partners to deliberate on effective strategies to reduce food waste and loss in Bangladesh. Throughout the day, we will hear keynote addresses, engage in panel discussions, and work towards identifying pathways for collective actions. We are honored to have with us our chief guest, the Honorable Advisor, Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, Interim Government of Bangladesh, Ms. Farida Akhtar. Our guest of honor, Mr. Muhammad Yassin, Additional Secretary, Administration Wing, Ministry of Food, Government of Bangladesh. Mr. Anders Carlson, Charge d'Affaires, Embassy of Denmark in Bangladesh. Mr. Dia Sanu, Deputy FAO Representative, FAO Bangladesh. Mr. Jesse Wood, Deputy Country Director and Officer in Charge, WFP Bangladesh. To begin our inaugural session, I would now like to invite Dr. Famida Khatun, Executive Director of CPD and moderator of this session, to deliver her introductory remarks. I would also kindly request Dr. Khatun to invite our distinguished panelists and guests to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to this conference on Towards Zero Food Waste and Loss, Building a Sustainable Food Value Chain in Bangladesh. We are honored to have the Honorable Advisor, Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, Ms. Farida Akhtar, as the chief guest. And we are also honored to have Mr. Muhammad Yassin, Additional Secretary, Administration Wing, Ministry of Food, Government of Bangladesh. As you have heard, that this conference is being organized in collaboration with a number of organizations, including the Embassy of Denmark, Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, World Food Organization, the World Bank, and the Center for Policy Dialogue. So on behalf of all the co-organizers, I would like to once again thank you for joining us this morning. So the topic of today's discussion is so important. It cannot be overemphasized in the context of Bangladesh, because as you know that despite the impressive growth of Bangladesh over the last 5 decades or so, Bangladesh still suffers from malnutrition. Particularly, the children and women suffer from malnutrition and undernutrition. And also, the food distribution is not equal. Therefore, reduction of food waste and loss is a critical step for Bangladesh in order to ensure the food security. Otherwise, also, there are a number of reasons why this issue should be addressed. If we look at from the economic, environmental, and equity perspective, then several issues can come up. I'll just raise a few because towards the day, there will be a few presentations which will highlight the extent, the value, and the way forward of this issue. So apart from the food security issue, it is also important from economic point of view because food waste means that we are losing out on our economic value in terms of the people who are engaged in the whole ecosystem. For example, the traders, the farmers, the processors, and also the households. So if we can reduce this loss, then we can also save a significant amount of resources. From the resource efficiency point also it is important because as you know that for food production we have to use resources, for example, fertilizer, energy, labor, and also water. So if we can cut down on these, we will also be able to save these resources. And the environmental sustainability point of view, I have mentioned that this is so important because for food we have to use the land and other resources. And if we are just increasing the food waste and loss, it means that we are draining the environmental resources which are quite scarce in the context of Bangladesh. And as you know that Bangladesh is also a country which is quite vulnerable, one of the most vulnerable countries to the impact of climate change. So from that point of view also, it is imperative that we reduce the food loss and waste. Then though Bangladesh is a food self-sufficient country, but we still have to import some amount of food, particularly when there are natural disasters, food production is hampered, then we have to import. So if we can reduce the food losses, then we will also be able to reduce our import dependency, and that resources can be utilized for other benefit of the country. Then the issue of public health, because reducing food waste also means that it creates some pollution, unhygienic practices. It has an import when food is disposed, rotten foods are disposed, it pollutes the environment and it also has an impact on the human health. And the other issue, most importantly, is that if we can achieve this, this is also help us in achieving some of the SDG goals. For example, SDG 12, which is about reduced consumption and production, and SDG 2, which is about zero hunger, and SDG 13, which is about climate action. So we will be also able to keep our commitment to fulfilling these SDGs. And the other issue is that we can, if we can find out ways to reduce this food waste and loss, this of course will require some innovation, some investment as well, so that we can minimize. So this will also create some opportunities for innovation and also new employment. So there are several measures and several reasons which are attached to this measure, which is to achieve zero food waste and loss, and which is integral part of achieving sustainable development in Bangladesh. So with this, I would like to request Mr. Anders Carlsen, who is the Charge d'Affaires, the Embassy of Bangladesh Embassy of Denmark in Bangladesh. So to make his welcome remark, over to you, Anders.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to stay here or? Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Advisor, Ms. Farida Akhtar, all other honorable guests, distinguished colleagues, friends, thank you very much for being here this morning, and a very good morning to you. And particular thank you to the Honorable Advisor for being here with us this morning. I know you've been traveling till late yesterday, so we really appreciate it. This is the International Day for awareness on food loss and waste. And I'm seeing the importance of these special days because, to be honest, up till recently I wasn't really very much aware of this issue and how big it is. And it is really, we've known, a global challenge. In fact, 1/3 of all food products is either lost along the value chain or simply wasted. It means that a land larger than China, if you can imagine, is used every year to produce food that no one will eat. It's not just the food that's wasted, so it's also the farmland used, it's greenhouse gases that are emitted in the production of this food, it's the transportation, so it's the economic resources wasted, as Dr. Famida also alluded to. So these problems will only be exacerbated also because of the climate crisis. Weather events, extreme weather events related to climate changes will every year mean that the crops are destroyed in their fields, that plants grown, nurtured and destroyed will be destroyed before even leaving the fields without where the seeds were planted. So a global problem like this, of course, requires global solutions. And I'm happy that Bangladesh and Denmark has a very strong partnership in food and agriculture. We support the food safety and the sustainable and efficient food production in Bangladesh, together with all the partners that are present here today. But that's not enough. We need to do more, and we need to do it now. It's a bit like the saying, when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, it's yesterday, and second best is today, and tomorrow, and every day in the future. And it's the same with this issue. We need to address it, if not yesterday, then today. And that's why we have asked you all to be here today. Government leaders, academic experts, private sector, innovators, international organizers, to share your expertise and find actionable solutions, so together we can try to build a sustainable food value chain in Bangladesh. I'd like to especially thank the organizers of the event. As always, the Center for Policy Dialogue has been doing an excellent job in pulling all this together. FAO, World Food Programme, the World Bank, together with our Danish embassy, have organized this event. By the end of the day, I hope we will have taken some additional steps in the fight against food waste. And I hope it will be more than just that. I hope we will have started a journey for a more sustainable Bangladesh. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Anders Carlson, Charity Affairs, the Embassy of Denmark in Bangladesh. Now, I would like to request Mr. Dia Sanu, Deputy FAO Representative, Food and Agriculture Organization, for making his opening speech.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, all. Before I provide some remarks on behalf of Dr. Shi, the FAO representative who could not join today, I would like first to recognize and acknowledge the presence of Honorable Farida Akhtar, Advisor, Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, respected Chair from the CPD, also guests of honor, Mr. Muhammad Yashim, Additional Secretary, Minister of Food, and special guests, Andreas, my good friends, and also Jesse Wood, which I would like to welcome to Bangladesh to join this journey of food system transformation. So I guess the organizer have selected 29 of September just to coincide with the International Day for Food Waste and Loss, which have been initiated to raise awareness on the importance of food waste and loss, and also how we can work together to build a more efficient, sustainable, and fair food system toward zero food waste and loss, particularly in Bangladesh. As FAO, as some of you may know, we are the UN agencies that is custodian of SDG Indicator 12.3, which is aimed to halve per capita global food waste at the retail as well as consumer level, and reduce food losses along the productions and food supply chain. So why this is important to raise awareness? Estimations from FAO statistics shows that the world produces enough food to feed more than 1.5 of the global population. And then we ask ourselves, why then some people are still food insecure and do not have enough food to eat, while the world produces more than is needed, right? Issues such as unequal distributions, issues such as poor infrastructure, issues such as conflict, issues such as lack of social protection system for the most vulnerable, as well as, most importantly, food waste and loss, prevent sufficient food to reach everyone, particularly the most needed. And then this leads to food insecurity, malnutrition, despite overall surplus. So I think Andreas also alluded to this. It's not only about food security and malnutrition issue. Food waste and loss also is a major contributing factor to climate change through potential greenhouse gas emission, also the resource, also squeezing resources like water, land, and energy in the production system. According to experts, food system as a whole contribute to 30%, 33% of greenhouse emission, but food waste and loss alone contribute to between 8 and 10% of greenhouse emission. It means even within the food system, food waste and loss remain one of the stronger contributors to greenhouse emissions. We then need not only to address the issue from food security and malnutrition perspective, but also from the perspective of climate change. So as FAO, we have been working alongside the government and other partners, some of whom are present today, to try to reduce or to improve the post-harvest management system. And it is in this regard that we have, together with the Minister of Food, complete a study to try to estimate how much food is lost in Bangladesh. And just sharing with you a few numbers. For paddy rice, about 70% is lost from farm to processor. And for farmers, it's about 14% due to poor storage. For wheat, it's about 18%. For fruit and vegetable, depending on the fruit or the vegetables, it's between 17% and 32%. If we take the take of a very fragile product like mangoes, it's about 32%. Fish loss, since advisor is here, fish loss is estimated at about 26% for small fish and 18% about 18% for carp. So as you can see, the minimum loss is 15%, which is quite, whatever produce you take, the minimum loss estimated in Bangladesh is about 15%. And for some, it's even reached 1/3 of the production. And this estimate is only for post-harvest. And sometimes also when we talk about food loss, we tend to forget the other aspect, which is pre-harvest loss. It's not only about post-harvest loss, but it's also about pre-harvest loss, meaning the loss that take place from start of the production until the harvest. And we have factors such as fall armyworm, we have factors such as climate-related weather extreme that contribute to important loss before even the food is harvested. So we probably more and more need to take into consideration this whole approach for food loss and waste to be able to reduce the loss at all levels. So, and there are some studies, also separate studies that have shown that for paddy rice, for example, again in Bangladesh, 6 to 10% is lost before harvest, which add them an additional layer. So our approach as FAO to post-harvest loss include policies and strategies, and we definitely need to mainstream post-harvest loss in different strategies, such as the NDCs. I'm happy to see that for NDC 3.0 in Bangladesh, food waste and loss have been strongly considered, and I do hope that, Honorable Advisor, you will advocate for this NDCs to remain, because it's not yet the final version. We really hope that the post-harvest loss will remain as one target for the NDC, but we need to do further also and include in the national adaptation plans and other strategies. Of course, infrastructure is key. We cannot talk about post-harvest management without adequate infrastructure. We need adequate infrastructure. We need cold chains. We also need to ensure that there is adequate market system and commercialization system so that whenever it's well preserved, it's well stored, then after the market system allow a easy distribution. Of course, we cannot address post-harvest without private sector. And then the question, how are we incentivizing private sector to take active action in post-harvest management and reduction? Post-harvest management and reduction also need innovation. We are dealing with critical climate issues. How do we strengthen our researchers to come up with adequate technologies and innovation to address the critical climate challenges that are challenging the post-harvest system? We need capacity building at all levels. Of course, when you check in terms of data, we don't have enough data to track post-harvest. We need more data. We need a rigorous data system. And of course, critical factor, we are all together today. Partnership, collaborations, and coordination is also one of the critical factors, because it's not only one stakeholder. Of course, we are here with the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock. It also involves infrastructure. It also involves water. It also involves environment and other factors. So collaborations and partnership is critically needed. As I conclude, I wanted to congratulate the organizing team for coming together to put this wonderful agenda, to allow us to share information, to share experiences, to discuss where we stand, and also to look forward together where we can take this agenda. So particularly the Minister of Fisheries and Livestock, Minister of Food here present, also Minister of Agriculture, Denmark Embassy, World Food Program, World Bank, of course the CPD colleagues, I do hope that today exchanges and discussions will further inspire stronger collaborations and foster practical and coordinate action to reduce food waste and loss in Bangladesh. With the active participations of all, I wish fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dia Sanu, for your valuable remarks. You have rightly pointed out some of the critical issues. You have mentioned about the extent of losses of various types of foods, and also particularly you have recommended a few points which should be taken into consideration. For example, enhancing, strengthening the market system, infrastructure, capacity building, partnership and collaboration, and also the importance of data. In order to have a good policy, we need data. Evidence-based policy is precondition for the effectiveness of policies. Thank you for those words. Now, I would like to request Mr. Jess Wood, who is the Deputy Country Director, Office in Charge, World Food Program in Bangladesh. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'd like to begin by recognizing, of course, the Honorable Advisor, Farid Akhtar, Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, special guest, Mr. Mohammed Yassin, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Food, yourself, Chair, Dr. Famida Khatun, the Center for Policy Dialogue, Mr. Anders Carlson, Charge d'Affaires of the Danish Embassy, and of course, my colleague, Mr. Dia from FAO, for his very warm welcome to me. And as he mentioned, I'm just joining you here in Bangladesh, and it's a real pleasure to be on this panel with such a distinguished group of people this morning talking about such an important issue. We've already heard quite a few quite harrowing statistics about the scale and the importance of food loss, and I'm going to add a few more. So globally, almost 1/3 of all food production produced for human consumption, that's about 1.3 billion tons every year, is lost or wasted. For Bangladesh, the challenge is equally high, if not more pressing. Significant portions of rice, animal protein, and vegetables never reach consumers due to various supply chain inefficiencies and handling practices that drive up the post-harvest losses with respective food value chains, costing billions of dollars annually. So studies show that 8 to 15% of rice is lost after harvest, while as much as 25 to 40% of fruits, vegetables, and others are worth an estimated $2.4 billion goes to waste because of these bottlenecks. And yet we know Bangladesh is a food production powerhouse. It ranks 3rd globally in vegetable production, 4th in fish production, and 7th in goods such as onions, potatoes, ginger, eggplants, and beans and seeds, all critical commodities to a healthy diet and sustained well-being. But due to storage and cold chain constraints, the country often imports the very products it produces at scale instead of exporting them, a lost opportunity for farmers and the economy. Despite these challenges, Bangladesh has made impressive strides in transforming its food systems, updating its national food systems pathway, modernizing agricultural policies, strengthening social protection. But food loss and waste continue to erode nutrition, farmer livelihoods, and climate resilience. However, in face of such large challenges, there's always significant opportunities. For WFP, tackling food loss and waste is about more than just efficiency. It's about food security, supporting vulnerable smallholder farmers, and advancing climate action. In partnership with FAO and others, through our aggregation center model, we show in practice how improved food storage, handling, strengthened market linkages, and introductions of innovations such as traceability, targeted towards smallholder farmers, can reduce losses, increase farmer incomes, and result in higher quality food being available to those most in need. So this is a problem, while large, it has practical solutions, and we're realizing them today in Bangladesh. It's a matter of scaling up and making the investments that are required. As you've heard today, we need not just to focus on handling, we need to look at infrastructure, market access, and so many others, but the right players are in the room today. WFP has therefore made post-harvest loss and reduction a shared priority, working hand in hand with government and with public and private partners to implement practical solutions. Today's conference offers a unique opportunity to bring all of us together, government, private sector, civil society, and international partners, to shape a concrete roadmap for reducing food loss and waste in Bangladesh. During the second half of today's event, we have the opportunity to share some of our own experiences on how we have linked post-harvest loss reduction measures to our own programming and to the different innovations that we are modeling and transferring already in practice. We hope that these will contribute to a very lively and active second phase of the meeting, where we can discuss practical solutions to look at generating actionable ideas, policy shifts, and investment priorities to accelerate progress on food loss and waste reduction. So, thank you for that. In closing, I would like to reaffirm our commitment to support the government and all partners in scaling up innovative solutions, strengthening market linkages, and placing food loss and waste reduction at the very heart of Bangladesh's development agenda. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jess Wood. You have also highlighted the importance of charting a common road ahead in order to reduce the food loss and waste in Bangladesh. And the statistics you have also presented regarding the loss of various food, for example, rice, fruits, vegetables, and all these. And thank you for the commitment for collaborating with Bangladesh in reducing food waste and loss. So now I would open the floor for a short while to listen to your questions or short comments. So since we are running behind, I will open the floor for 10 minutes. Please make your comments very precise and to the point. If you have any question also to any of the speakers so far, or to the chief guest who can later on answer to that. So the floor is open. Okay, here, microphone is here. This, okay. So please identify yourself and then make the point. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I am Dr. Abdul Rashid. I came from a seed industry, seed company, Laltir Seed Limited. And I was working at the Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute. I am a vegetable breeder and also working with the seed production and distribution now. So the situation, the post-harvest loss of food crops in our country is very high. You have heard the statistics given by him. Even rice and wheat, rice is 17% and wheat is 18%. And vegetables and fruits are, 30 to 35%. It is due to the lack of, the cold chain, the infrastructure for storing fruits and vegetables. If you compare the cold system and food value chain with the developed countries, our situation is a complete mess. It's a massacre. So even from harvesting to transportation, to transport to the market, there is no cold chain, and it's coming by trucks inside the gunny bags, and you see the situation of the market. There is no cold shelves, there is nothing. Since early 90s, I was attending
So do you have a specific recommendation?
Yes,
yeah. So we would like to listen to your recommendation, please.
We have to develop our transportation. We have to develop our infrastructure for storage, and we have to develop our market system.
Okay.
But it is not there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your valuable points. This side.
Thank you. Imtiaz, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Agronochain. So basically, Agronochain works specifically for post-harvest solutions, and it's a blockchain-based platform. Do you think we have a lot more that we can contribute in terms of technology in the supply side? For example, the technology linking the supply and the demand. We do not have proper estimation of what the demand is going to be for a particular season or a particular year, that we can link our supply to that and keep our logistics ready, keep our platforms ready in terms of cold storages and everything. Because from my experience, from a very short experience or a very minute scale experience, I'm seeing that it's a lot about getting it a preparedness. The market or the market stakeholders are not prepared when there is a harvest ready. That's one of the biggest reasons why we see a lot of post-harvest loss happening in the market, because we don't have our logistics ready. So do you think any sort of technological intervention in the supply chain as a whole for the post-harvest can be solved? Another thing is when it comes to agri-produce in Bangladesh, what I have seen is after the production takes place, it goes under different ministries. It doesn't only remain within the agri-ministry. For example, it goes to food ministry sometimes depending on the crop. Sometimes it goes to the Ministry of Industries as well. So do you think during the post-harvest or after post-harvest, our crops are actually kind of like an orphan? We do not know who to deal with, who the regulator would be, and how we can deal with the situation as a whole. Do you think that is one of the major points that is giving rise to this post-harvest loss? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those important points. I think the Honorable Advisor is here, particularly your last point, the coordination issue. Who will look after which part of the whole food system. Any other points? Yes, at the back.
Hello, good morning. This is Professor Mahabub from Sherebangla Agriculture University. So over the years, we have been seeing that we're talking about the post-harvest losses. Definitely is important, but we all know that these food waste also happen at the household level, like at the consumer end. So my question is, are you interested to investigate that matter too? Because I know Professor Kamrul is here. He has been working since long about these issues like post-harvest, but we haven't seen that much effort at the household level. So we have done a little research from a few villages from Bogura, and we see that at the household level, food waste happen like 63 grams per person on a weekly basis. But I believe that my sample size was very small. We are not that much convinced. You need to come up and see the bigger pictures, even at the household level, at the consumer level. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your findings. Okay, this side.
Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to say something. I am from Food Safety Authority. So we know that physical, chemical, and biological affects our product. So my country is very small, and every area is scattered industries. So industrial waste cause a big hazards in our soil. So if soil is unhealthy, air is unhealthy, water is unhealthy, so how we can think of safe food? If it is not safe, food is not safe, it's not food. So we should should have some policy to zoning our industries so that we can keep our land safe. This is one thing. Another thing is that we are importing a lot of foods from abroad. But our two main ports, Chittagong Port and Mongla Port, and there is no good infrastructure for importing food product, particularly meal product, meat, fish, that kind of things. So these are all very much perishable things. So we need that kind of infrastructure so that we can keep our imported product in a safe way in the port, so that we can get the safe product for our consumers. And I would like to say that our water is very much polluting day by day, and water scarcity is increasing day by day. And our fish is becoming in a danger situation, and we are producing a lot of dry fish. But we found that fish becomes insecticide. We are using insecticide. Why? Because temperature and moisture. So we don't have enough cold storage, small scale cold storage, so that we cannot keep our dry fish for a longer period. This is also a big concern. And another thing is fish. Fish, we are using a lot of ice, but we found that ice factories are using surface water. These are not safe. So we should keep attention on safe ice production. I'd like to say that thing. And I think in household aspects, electricity is very big issue. Without continuous uninterrupted electricity, we cannot keep our product safe in refrigerator. In rural areas particularly, they are not getting uninterrupted electricity. There should be given attention, I think.
Okay.
Cold storage, I have told that, and we are observing that 5-star hotels, 3-star hotels, they are misusing a lot of foods. So what can we do? We can serve it to our vulnerable people. Another thing I found in South Korea, they can throw their food anywhere. They have to keep, and the municipal corporation, they collect it for their animals, like pig, like dog. They don't waste their processed food. So we can think of that. And another is this thing that in the winter season, we are producing a lot of vegetables, but we cannot consume it. And price becomes very low. So if we think that what should be the floor price of that, so that the farmers will bring their product to the market. One thing. Another thing is, if we can use these kind of products in the processing area, we can utilize these things. And if we can export it in the winter season, that will be another way to save our winter season fruits. And I would like to say that we are concerned about the grains. Grains are rotten due to high moisture and lack of heat, high moisture, and so if we can dry these things, so then they will be safe for a longer. If we keep it below 12% moisture, it will sustain 2 years long. If we keep below 14%, we can keep it 1 year long. So we have to ensure a small scale dryer, and which is low cost, that could be given to our farmers so that they can keep their product in a safe way.
Okay,
And,
more?
Another thing is, we have transportation. We have communication and transportation is very good nowadays. So this is good thing. But one thing is very concerned. There is the cool chain. They cannot maintain cool chain. In case of milk product, in case of fish, in case of meat. So if we can ensure cool chain transportation, that will ensure safe from the producer to market level. So we have to think that way. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
again.
A number of recommendations. We have listed all of your recommendations. I'm not repeating those. So these are very useful. Any other? Okay, yes. Yeah, I see. Yeah, 2 more hands will come. এখানে আসেন, এখানে। Okay, I'll come back to the back. So.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm also from the same organization. The last speakers already discussed. I'm Professor Dr. Shoaib from Bangladesh Food Safety Authority. Actually, from the very beginning, honorable guest and one of the participants mentioned about transportation and storage. I also with them. Actually, we need to develop our transportation system, although roads are very good. I just came here from Gazipur. This is within 1 hour, to be honest. But earlier, we cannot reach from Gazipur to Dhaka more than 2 hours. So transportation system is better now in Bangladesh. But for food products, transportation system, we need an innovative technology. And of course, cold storage. Other than this, actually, I from my point of view, we need to develop or give training to our farmers or producer, because this is common thing, and another word I will use. In every aspect, even in management of food safety, we use these two words. But again, this is very important. We need to train our farmers and producers so that the food loss is minimized due to the climatic change, and Bangladesh is prone to disaster. So we have cyclone, heavy rain, so many things. So our food is naturally we lost, but we can develop technology or train our farmers so that they can minimize this loss. And another thing, for consumer and mass population, they need to be aware as well. I had discussion 3 or 4 months back with some professors. I'm mainly from Department of Chemistry, University of Dhaka, and they don't agree food loss and waste. And many people in Bangladesh, they don't care about these things. So we need to create awareness about this, so many people can understand the necessity to manage the food loss and waste. And that is effect for climate change, as Mr. Dia Sano mentioned. So we have to think all these things, and we can advocate people as many as possible. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your points. Okay, I'll go back there. 2 hands I see, yes. Please.
Thank you, sir. This is Firoz Al Mahmood, Research Director, Food Planning and Monitoring Unit of the Ministry of Food. The trend that is continuing regarding the population growth, then our production growth, and if the consumption rate continues and the rate of cultivable land reduction, then our calculation says that the country may fall in food deficit in 2030. Some data that we analyzed reveals that farm level loss is huge, particularly in the cutting stage, in the storage stage, and threshing stage, also the transportation stage. So the farmers face huge loss, and they become, they cannot actually do any profit, so they become landless and transfer their cultivation pattern from rice to other crops. In that case, the involvement of private sector is very crucial. So what do you think, how can we engage more actively the private sector in this area, particularly the post-harvest process? Thank you.
Thank you. So the last comment I would take.
Good morning, everyone.
Any other? There was okay. You will be the last
this
one.
This is Mohammad Jahidul Islam, Philip, DOF, and JICA project. So I just want to add one thing is, we don't have in details data of loss of different products, that means vegetable, fishes, and other products that we discussed. But we have to develop a innovative some technology, or there is a developed by other country also. We have to focus or emphasize alternative use of these vegetables, that is such as dried vegetable, dried other products. So there is a not prioritize on this sector. As in our country, there is a limited market, but in the abroad or in the other country, there is a huge market, but we did not have a focus on that sense. So if we focus on this sector, we can we can focus, so we can reduce the food waste. And another thing is in the fisheries sector, as we are working on the fisheries sector, there is a huge loss of fisheries species. We all, everyone we tell about the small fishes, but we don't know there is a large quantity of large fishes also. That in the Bangladesh we are used to some species of fishes we used to take, but some fishes are exporting. But there is a lot of fishes that we are experiencing, the lot of species, lot of amount of fishes that are not targeted by fishermen, not even small fishes. There is a large fish also. As there is no market in Bangladesh, they did not take out that fishes into the market. So there is a huge loss, but we don't have enough data. So we have to work on that point also to utilize the proper use of fisheries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these recommendations. So the lady at the back.
Thank you. I wanted to highlight actually one point. I'm Fauzia Yasmin, Director Ispahani Agro Limited. We often talk about post-harvest losses, but we lose huge volume of food even before harvesting at the farm stage. Because of climate change, we know how field condition is there because of drought, waterlog, all this. So climate change is a big issue. So farms or private organization can be incentivized or by the regulation support to develop climate resilient seed. And we already introduced biopesticide also, which is actually impacting on food waste and loss. And another thing, information system is very, very important. This year only, we can see the situation of potato. Because of overproduction, farmers are not taking, just day before yesterday, it came on the newspaper, farmers are not taking their potato from the cold house because they are unable to cover their cost, only because of the overproduction. So we need an information system on the basis of what we can go for the production. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your recommendations. So I come back to the dais now. So we have two guests. First, I would like to request Mr. Mohammad Yasin, Additional Secretary, Administration Wing, Ministry of Food, Interim Government of Bangladesh, to make his remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Honorable Chair, respected Chair, Executive Director, CPD, Honorable Chief Guest, Advisor, Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, Excellency, Charge d'Affaires, Embassy of Denmark, Representative, Deputy FAO Representative, and Deputy Country Director of World Food Programme. I would like to thank, and I'm delightful to have this opportunity to attend today's workshop towards zero food waste and loss, building a sustainable food value chain in Bangladesh. It's a serious global concern and as well as Bangladesh concern. So, we list our chair starting the economic loss. We are losing fertility of the soil. We are losing money, finance. I worked in the finance division for 8 years. I know how the food is grown with the subsidy. It's a very competitive part of the financial aspect. And we are losing wealth, our seed, fertilizer, labor, agricultural labor, water. And we are losing market availability, producing less food for the poor and the marginalized people. We are losing balanced diet, and we are losing having a very healthy nation. We are creating very limited choice of food. We are increasing poverty, and the cost of opportunity cost is huge. So, what Bangladesh is not the world, but the world is producing huge amount of food for all. But we are making some food losses and wastage. In Bangladesh, every year, one individual wastes 82 kg of foods, which it was in 2024. So 17 kg more than 3 years back. 17 kg more than 3 years back. And it is 9 kg higher than the USA, the rich country. So the practices, not only the individual level, even in our market level, in the organization level, before pro-harvest or post-harvest, we are losing 18% of food grain. So dear colleague, all the studies we are saying. So what we can do today, I can cite 2 examples only how we are losing our food and what kind of measurable the decision we are taking. You know, our millers are polishing our rice, cutting the rice as their marketing strategies to make this rice very small and attractive to the people. We are cutting the protein in one hand and adding the fortified food in the other hand. What kind of plan we are doing, what kind of things we are doing. So we should come out from this kind of strategies. And another is, only 2 examples I want to cite, another is our seasonal fruits. We are producing huge amount of seasonal fruits, but we cannot preserve it. Due to non-preservance strategy or capacity or infrastructure incapability, huge amount, we cannot take, in the season, we cannot take all. Nobody cannot, the Bangladeshi people cannot take all the food. We are losing during handling, during marketing, and during less interest of that time, which we can preserve it and use it in the future. Since I am working in Ministry of Food now, so what we are doing now, I just want to give some snapshot what Ministry of Food is doing. They are increasing their storage system. We are moving towards traditional to modern food storage system. We are establishing silos, wheat, rice silos, with a capacity to 23 lakh metric ton. And we are rehabilitating our old grounds, CSD, LSDs. We are repairing them, and we are trying to make them double layer, triple layer, so that we can preserve more food. It's one of the food security. And we are focusing on food rice hub, the areas where the rice are growing most. And Ministry of Food is also undertake a national food and nutrition security, and under this security policy, and followed by Plan of Action 2022 to 2025. And Bangladesh Food Safety Authority, 2 officers from the Bangladesh Food Safety Authority, they spoke just now. They have spoke just now. They make some awareness program, school campaign. Now they are, as a piloting, they are doing it in Shatkia and Manikganj to aware the students what will be the behavioral pattern in the table manner. So what we are doing, we are knowingly and unknowingly, we are making some problem from farm to the land, from farm to the market, from table to the retailer, and from packaging to marketing strategy, everywhere food is, we are losing food and wasting our food. Another problem is we don't have our reliable data. The good news is Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics, they have taken a project. They will finish it by 2027. And the name of this project is very clear: an assessment of non-human consumption of selected food grains and assessment of food loss and wastage. I think it could be a great baseline for where we want to focus, because if we want to have any policy intervention, we should know the actual data, actual problem where we should put our intervention, because we'll do everything by step, one day or one night we can do everything. It's not possible. And from this today's workshop is a very effective platform with the organizer of six very large, efficient, prominent, and expert organizations. It would be a great platform to take some decision. We can make some standard protocol for the grower. We don't want to teach them or learn them how to grow. We will train them how to reduce food loss. For the packaging, marketing, standard protocol, we should have for the storage and processing. And there should be, we can plan for cooperative style of transportation and marketing. You know the hub, and individual level of marketing and handling and transportation may occur huge amount of food loss and food wastage. My expectation today is that we can have some kind of discussion and we can build a framework, a standard protocol, and at least we can start our food step towards reducing the loss and wastage. In conclusion, I want to thank to invite me. It is a great opportunity for me to having this kind of organization, people in front of me. And in my view, we can, in the title, it could be not, zero is a zero food waste or losses could be a very long-term vision. And I think we cannot measure after 2 or 3 years. If I put zero to our title, if you give some kind of value, any percentage or anything like that, then we can measure after 2 years why if it would be a very good performer, that why this kind of performance we have done. If we miss this our target, then we can assess why we miss this, assess where we can put our intervention or efforts. Again, I want to thank the organizer jointly for inviting us. Really, it is a great pleasure for me to attain and as part of the workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammad Yassin, Additional Secretary, Administration Wing, Minister of Food with the Government of Bangladesh, for your very insightful and practical, deliberation. So you have shared a lot of policy issues as well, and also the criticality of the measures which should be taken for reducing food waste. Now we would turn and request our chief guest, Ms. Farida Akhtar, Honorable Advisor, Minister of Fisheries and Livestock of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, to make her remarks. So her portfolio is very important. It is one of the important sources of protein of people in Bangladesh. And Honorable Advisor, you have heard also comments from the floor. There were 7 specific speakers who made a lot of recommendations and some queries also to, I guess it is posed towards you. So you may also like to address those. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I really thank Center for Policy Dialogue for inviting me, and also Embassy of Denmark and FAO and World Food Programs, everybody and all of you who are here. We actually are talking about something which is really a very important issue. We are saying towards zero food loss and waste. That means we are not yet there, and we don't know by 2030 if we would be there at all. But I think we can do something about it. I remember that we used to talk about food security, like till 1996 in World Food Programs and other forums. We used to talk about food security because people are hungry and there are not enough food produced. But still, people are hungry, and we have to talk about food safety. This is why Bangladesh Food Safety Authority, they are here and also has been working, and there are laws also in place to look after the safety of food. But then, when we talk about food loss and waste, I find it is very, very unfortunate situation that while we are trying to produce more and we are trying to be safe, we are now facing the challenge of loss and waste, and that is happening at a level that could have been prevented. And we have to remember one thing, that food is produced, food is a perishable product, whether it is agricultural product or livestock or fisheries, these are perishable. You cannot just treat them as industrial product. So then, and also these are produced by subsistence farmers. Like for agricultural product, it is still the subsistence farmers who are producing it. And also, when I have joined the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, I have been traveling around and to meet the fishers who are really involved in fish capture and production. And I find that they are also very helpless because they can produce, they can capture, but then what happens afterwards? This is really a very big issue. So these are perishable products. And also to know that this is a global issue. It's not a problem of Bangladesh alone. And when I was going through some of the data here and also looking at the data, it's a huge issue in many other countries. So Bangladesh is not alone in it. But still, Bangladesh has been, doing good. But before I go into the food loss and waste situation, still we have 15.5 million or 16% of the population that was in World Bank, World Food Program assessment, that high levels of acute food insecurity by April 2025. So this is that so many people are still hungry and they don't get food. While on the other hand, we find that there is overconsumption, as Dr. Famida Khatun in the beginning mentioned, that there is inequality of food consumption. While we are consuming a lot of food, for lunch, breakfast, and dinner, we have so much of food, other people don't have enough food. So the nutritional insecurity is also there. So Bangladesh also experiences like 2.11 crore tons of food loss and waste from farm to fork, and this is again at different stages. So I will not go into the agricultural products because that is at present is not my field. Only I will say that the lady in the back, she mentioned about the potato issue. I would come to that because these are the things that is happening with agriculture, that our farmers are producing. We are asking them to produce and they are using their land to produce, but when they produce, there is not enough support, price support, or infrastructural support so that they can store the products. And finally, they have to give up, like the products to even cold storage, but the price support is not there. So, and also the diversification of the food that we could have used is not there. So that's very unfortunate because the cost of production is quite high and it's growing more and more, like your cost is not reduced at all, whereas the price of the product of other, products goes up, but not the agricultural product. And also the government often tries to keep the price of rice at a level so that the non-farming people can have at a affordable price. So government cannot also increase the price. So there should be efforts to lower the cost. I will give you some examples of fisheries and livestock. I must say that when I have been traveling around the wetlands, you know that Bangladesh used to have more of captured fish from the wetlands, like the rivers, Haurs and Baurs and a lot of other places, which used to be 60% of the total fish production, and only 40% was from aquaculture. But now the situation is totally different. Now we have 60% from aquaculture and 40% from wetlands. This is, yes, aquaculture is good and it has increased availability, but the diversity of fish is lost. And we have really, we used to have like 267 varieties of inland fish, and each area has a diverse fish, and they're so tasty and so good, so you won't get that in the same way in the aquaculture. And also the fishers are poor and they need support, but again we fail to provide them with enough support. Regarding the marine fish, I have to tell you one thing is I'm very saddened by that. Recently, last week, I was in the sea on our ship, Min Shandhani, which is a research vessel, and I wanted to see that how much catch they actually get when they go into mid-sea or, like beyond 40-meter depth. And then they use the net, and they had a catch at midnight. After 3 hours of having the net in the sea, they got very little fish. Very little targeted fish, I would say that, like the hilsha and some sea fish that are considered edible by our people. So the rest they had to throw away in the sea bag, and which was more than like 2/3. They had to throw away because some of them are not known what we should do, and some of them are, people don't eat it. But maybe it has a foreign market, we could have export market, but I could just see that the proportion that they immediately had to throw away. And usually the vessels go into the sea for targeted fishing. And that's why they also use some technology like sonar and trawl door, so that they know exactly where the fish is, and then they catch the fish, the rest they throw away. In that way, we are losing a lot of fish, marine fish species also in the sea, and so which will have long-term impact for our fish. So whether we call it fish loss or waste, I don't know, but it is a situation that we are losing a lot of fish because of use of also illegal nets, the wrong mesh size. They catch everything and they only keep the fish they want and the rest they throw away. So the 30% fish post-harvest loss is there, and I think it is, sometimes it is more than that when you go, you are actually talking about the use of illegal nets. So this is a concern that we are trying to deal with now. You know, just I will be going from here to the ministry to have a press conference on the situation of Hilsha, because we are having a gradual deterioration of fish, Hilsha fish capture due to many other factors, including nets. In the livestock, the main loss is for milk. You know, when I go to different districts, you know, they categorize that this is a milk sufficient district, this is a milk, deficit district, and millions of women are keeping cows and they have milk, they are coming and they are supplying milk. But the problem is there is no collection point. So when they come and whatever the buyers are buying, like the wholesale buyers, and if they don't get enough price, like in the market it is 50 taka and the wholesale buyers are giving them only 20 taka or 25 taka. I have seen in Jhinaidaho, for example, that they were saying that we throw the milk on the street rather than selling at such a low price. So the pricing policy, both for agriculture and also for livestock, particularly of milk, because they can't keep it. How much they would drink, just, this is not possible. So for milk, the simple system of milk collection center, chilling vessels, transport system would be very important. And also there is seasonality is very important, both for milk and also for eggs and meat. We think that it's only for agricultural product. Milk has also seasonal demand and supply. And particularly, in winter, or I was quite surprised to hear that during mango season, the demand for milk goes down because people are not making enough sweets. So the sweetmeat producers are not buying milk from them. People are eating mangoes. So that's as dessert. So that's something. Those are seasonal effects are also there. So I agree with all those points where you are talking about transportation and like cold storage and also like how to preserve. And I would add to that how to diversify the use of our products, is important. And, the important point also is that while some people are not having enough food, in Gulshan, even if we talk about Dhaka, how much we are wasting, by different, economic classes. The rich people waste food so much, and in the restaurants, I think if you calculate how much they are wasting, it's huge. And I think sometimes it is really, I shouldn't use the word criminal, but I find it very, very unacceptable. Because we should have some kind of regulation in terms of how much we can really order or how much we can use, just for our pleasure, And also like when we see in the tourism, I have been on how Tangwar, how recently, and I saw the tourist vessels are there, and they are really making a lot of food and throwing out. And so the throwing away of food is also very huge, and I think that's important. Eggs also, because of we cannot have enough, transportation suitable for egg transportation. So the temperature is also a factor for losing eggs. And these are important food. The poultry has contributed a lot in our country because it has made accessible to the urban poor. Particularly if you talk to the ready-made garment workers, at least they are having, the eggs in their regular diet. So we have to really see that how these are not at least lost and not wasted, and be available. So, and private sector, I think you are very right that we cannot do everything. We have to engage the private sector, and private sector has been very helpful also so far in the marine fisheries and also in the poultry and livestock sector. What we have been trying to say that we need to increase the production, not only in a quantitative way but also qualitative way, like to make sure that these are safe. And that is a very important issue. It's not only about loss and waste, how safe we are producing. So I would say that this is an issue that we will have to deal with, and not only up to 2030, but if we can at least achieve something by 2030, we will contribute a lot towards the food security, food sovereignty, and for the welfare of the people, because still there are people hungry, and we cannot afford the food loss and waste in this way. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Advisor Ms. Farida Akhtar, for sharing your vast knowledge and experience, which has been gathered through years of your work in the field at the grassroots level. You have really a hands-on experience, and we are enriched by your knowledge and also the suggestions and the points you have highlighted, starting from the equity aspects and then diversification of food sovereignty, and also the preservation, technology and collaboration. So all these issues are quite important. So I would now close the session, but I would also request our audience and the participants to stay, because we have more sessions, 2 more sessions on these issues will be, which we have highlighted in this inaugural session. These issues will be discussed in detail in the next 2 sessions, because one would be on policy and regulations, which will look into the policies of reducing food waste and loss and how to improve the situation. And then there is also a session on what can we do and how to take actions. And then we will have a closing session. In the closing session, we will have our special guest, Dr. Muhammad Imdadullah Mia, who is the Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture of the Government of Bangladesh. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to your active participation in the following sessions. Thank you.